Hey there, and welcome to Ruck, Buttercup, the podcast that's all about real talk for military spouses and families. I'm Sabrina, and we're so glad you're here.
And I'm Ashley, and together we dive into the ups, the downs, and everything in between that comes with military life. From deployment tips to marriage conversations to PCS chaos, finding your identity and owning it, nothing is off limits.
And I'm Laura. Whether you're folding uniforms, packing boxes, managing the home front, solo, or just trying to make it through another long week, you're in the right place. Here on Ruck Up Buttercup, we share real stories, honest conversation, and practical support for military families.
We talk about the hard stuff, the hopeful stuff, and everything in between. Because military life is anything but one size fits all.
This is a space to feel seen, supported, and reminded that you're never alone in this journey.
So lace up those boots, lift your chin, and let's ruck up Buttercup. Military life doesn't define us. We rise in.
You can also hear us on Wreath Across America Radio on Women in Media Wednesdays at 11 p.m. See you there. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are having a girl chat, just me and Ashley today. So we just thought we'd talk about something because we're both kind of in the weeds of living the silent ranks. And so we're going to kind of just talk about like military spouses, how we kind of face a lot of challenges that we don't talk about them because it's just part of being a military spouse. And sometimes it's kind of just pushed under the rug of like, hey, that's just life. So we're going to be kind of talking about being the silent ranks of part of the military community.
Yeah, and I think the number one unspoken rule of the strong one is when strength is like assigned, it's assumed, or it's not assigned, it's assumed, right? We just assumed that we're the strong one because we just get shit done pretty much. You know, what really sucks about it though is when you're labeled strong, it kind of gets to the point where you feel like people stop checking in, and just because someone looks strong or that they have their life put together on the outside doesn't mean that that's the case. I think I've been like kind of preaching that like all week, like over on TikTok, that like just
like, I feel like it's interesting is I've had that conversation with multiple people in my life over the years, and even just this last couple like month or so, is that yeah, I perceive myself as like put together. Like a lot of people would say that. I think they would see that in the posts that I make, but I also don't post my life on anything.
No.
Like you guys don't see really what's going on.
No.
Maybe if you follow me personally on TikTok, there's a little bit more of like a honesty to that. Like I post a little bit more of like what's actually going on because my family and everybody isn't really on there. So like I feel like that's kind of my outlet, but I feel like I don't have it together. And I've had people who told me recently, a girl in my life who was like, hey, I was up all night because I was comparing myself to you. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, do you realize like what I'm actually like nothing is like that. Like, yeah, you came over and my house was clean, but that's because Sundays are my cleaning day and you happened to come over on a Sunday evening and it was clean. I'm like, yeah, but every other day of the week, it doesn't look like that.
It doesn't, y'all. I mean, like literally I had a sitter over yesterday, and the entire time I was gone last night, please, nobody go in my room. Please, nobody go in my room. The mountain, y'all, of laundry that is sitting in my room right now is kind of embarrassing. Like when I mean mountain, like Claire can freaking climb it. This morning, she even meant, she goes, it's as tall as the dresser. I was like, shut up. You do not need to point that out to me. I know. But again, I think the biggest thing for me has kind of been learning to let things go. So have the freedom to take something on for the day or to let it go, and what is going to be beneficial to your mental health, your sanity. Because I feel that's what I'm struggling with right now is my sanity. Like what is going to help me get through the day without just losing my mind on whoever comes in contact with me. And like sometimes I feel so bad about being so short with people in my life, especially with my kids. It really is affecting, like just soul deep, like affecting how I'm, going through like life right now, because like there's so many things that I'm dealing with, whether, I'm working from home, I'm the executive director for Deployed Love. I'm running events for Fort Benning here. My husband is gone. Like, I'm solo parenting, like straight solo parenting. It's not like he's going to be home in a couple weeks or anything like that. Like, he's halfway around the world. And having that reminder of I'm not alone. Like, I know that. And I think that's really important to kind of like, okay, I just need to have the ask, or I just need to make that choice of what am I going to do? So yesterday, I had a horrible day yesterday. Like, I was in such a bad mood. I got into another like really heated argument with my kids about just once again not listening and being respectful. And we still went to homeschool group because I was like, I don't want to take away the Valentine's Day party, even though I was like, I don't think you should go. We're going to go because at this moment in time, I don't even need you near me. I need you to just go engage with somebody else so I can have a moment in time. And I didn't even really engage with a lot of the moms there when I first got there. And two of the moms that I spent a lot of time with came over and they're like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm just not having a good day. Like, I'm just not in a good mood. And then someone gave me a baby. Okay, guys, I don't want a baby. That I do not have time for that in my life. But the fact that like he just sat there and giggled and smiled at me for 10 minutes just melted my heart. And I was okay, wait, like it made me stop and think about, is it something that's going to ruin your, like, why let this ruin your day? Let's reset, have a focus. And then like my mom friends came over, like, what do you need? I was like, honestly, like just you checking in on me is so important because I know I come off as a person that has my stuff together. Being named Military Spouse of the Year or nominated for that recently, and then being named the Military Spouse of the Year for Fort Benning, I had a huge range of emotions yesterday about it because I was like, it's not that I don't think I deserve the recognition and the stuff like that, but it's nice to finally see someone seeing me do hard work and not that I have it together. But then people were commenting on other posts that I was making saying like, you're doing phenomenal work. You're doing great. And like, you have everything together. And I was like, I don't have everything together. I prioritize the things that make me happy, but I don't always do that. I think we talked about this recently where we should really, or maybe it was just me who said it. I really should prioritize doing the things that we're preaching here on the podcast. Take that self-care, all those things, because just because someone's strong doesn't mean that they don't have unseen struggles that they're dealing with.
And I think that's also that unseen is like, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, I'm busy. I realize that. Like, but I put myself in these situations. These are things that I want to do, and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to complain about being busy. And you hear a lot of people complaining about being busy, but that's a choice that I make. I know that, and I could easily step away from any parts of my life right now. Like, that's fine.
That's a key point right there.
Yeah. So like, it's a choice that's being made, but there's also things that are happening behind that. Like, you can't see whether someone's having health issues. You can't see whether someone's having family issues. You can't see whether there's financial problems. I mean, those are all things that are like, we're not going to talk about that. Like, that doesn't come up. That's not a conversation that I rarely would even have with my friends. Like, that's just something that is very personal. And that's a silent weight that is held, and it's also held for our military members. And I think that we also need to give grace for that. I think that's kind of been the biggest thing is like, yeah, like your husband isn't here. My husband's on night shift. So again, kind of like he's not here. Like it basically is it changes the dynamic entirely of our family and how responsibilities. And I have to also keep in mind though, that he is also stressed. Like if these things are bothering me and they're stressing me out, they're definitely stressing him out. And for him working 12-hour shifts overnight and having to be on weird sleep schedules, not seeing his family doesn't help the situation. And that's military life. So we also need to be giving ourselves a lot of grace. Like
I think that's like one of our mottos is have grace with yourself and those around you. Like you're not only, I mean, as a mom, like if you're a mom, I think specifically a mom, but a military spouse as well, but you're not only dealing with your emotions, right? You're the buffer for everybody around you, your spouse's emotions, your children's emotions, the emotions of the stress and the emotions of you guys together, whatever the friction may be, if there is a friction. And that can be just so unbelievably taxing.
Yeah, and I think about that. Like that is like I mediate so much that, especially now having a preteen, a teenager, a military man who's working. Like there is so many emotions, and they don't communicate with each other. Like I have to be the one who knows like why Darren's upset this week, or why Kira was crying in the car, or why Dustin isn't reacting positively in certain situations, because I know what each one of them's going through. I'm their counselor, right? That's another job that moms just have to deal with. And like, so having to also mediate, like you were saying, mediate, like, Darren, take it easy on your sister. She's had a really rough week. There's hormones, like, there's crazy thing. You need to be a little bit more considerate to her feelings right now of things that are going on. Or, hey, I know dad snapped at you. That hurt your feelings, but this is what's going on in dad's behind the scenes in dad's life. So like, you need to also take it easy. But then I also think it comes down to like, why doesn't anybody care when I'm mad? Why doesn't anybody mediate for me? Because I also have those outbreaks, and I don't
that emotional turmoil that we have inside our brain, because I know that I have those feelings too. Like, why isn't anyone checking on me? Like, why? I literally had this conversation with my kids the other day because I was like, they were doing all these things, and I was like, have you both stopped one time today and asked me, do I need something? Or how can you help mommy? Because like right now you see me doing all of these things. You see me in the middle of cleaning dishes and I'm on the phone talking to someone because this is what needed to be done at this moment in time. Like having like one, trying to just teach them that they should also have grace and empathy for other people and checking in on them, because I think it's just so important to check in on people. Like not when they're just mad, looking sad, they're angry, they're yelling, they're crying, whatever the case may be, but just check in and say, hey, how are things going? Or, hey, I knew you had this week. How did it go? Like, how was your interview? How was anything? Like, just that simple check-in of saying, I remember you saying this, or I see you. Because I feel spouses are going through that phase or that season of where they're just not feeling seen. And having someone who took a moment of their day to say, hey, I remember you said you had an appointment this week. How did it go? Hey, I know that you were going to apply for jobs. Have you heard anything? Like, anything like that. Like just that check-in can I think change someone's complete perspective for their day. Like they could be having a really crappy day. And then that little text or, oh, we're at the play date. Hey, how did that go this week? Oh, that person actually listened to me and heard something that I was doing and is following up on it. And that follow-up, I feel, is something that a lot of us miss as busy military spouses and moms, because we don't have someone who's always doing it. And that's not saying that you probably don't have it. I mean, I know there's a lot of people, but again, like we all are busy. Our service members are busy. Our friends are busy. Our coworkers are busy, that those can get forgotten because it's not like something that's super important in a lot of people's head, but it is so important. It can make a drastic
should be more important. I think as military spouses, we need to have that for each other. We need to be that, because busy is such an annoying word to me. Like, I get it. Like, we all have something. And that comes down to conversations in my family, like where my mom will assume my sisters are more busy because their kids are public school and they have all these sports. And it's like, how does that, my life is just as busy. Yeah. And so it comes down to like, you don't check in on me because you don't think I'm as busy or like, that's crazy talk. And so like setting aside a time where maybe you put a thing in your phone, like on Fridays, I'm going to just check in with a couple friends, like my close tribe, like how can I, because that communication, we talk about communication all the time, and we talk about community, and we like, you're not a community if you're not both putting that effort in. And if it's just like a one-way street and you're like, hey, I know that this is going on, like how can I help? But they're not ever checking.
But that's another load that you have, that's another like thing that you're tacking on, that if you are the only person that's doing that and you're not getting it in return, it's just another thing in your rucksack. So you mom life, spouse life, cleaning, cooking, all the different logistic things like scheduling appointments and buying groceries or meal planning, like all of these things come into play and they're all weighing you down. So how can we help relieve that? Well, lean on your community, like find people who are going to actually be like, that pack's getting heavy. Yeah, I'm leaning real heavy into our name, y'all. That pack's getting heavy. How can I help that load? Like, how can I assist you moving forward so that way you don't feel like you can't take another step?
And it should be all the time. Like, I think we think of this as a support system during deployments, right? Like, yeah, I do feel like I'm supported a lot more during deployments because my family would be like, hey, let me send you gift boxes. Do you need help with this? That support from my community and my family picks up when he's overseas for some reason. But it's like that, my life is still that taxing. Like the night shift is the same as a deployment to me and our family because he's not here. He sleeps all day. He's gone for these 2 months for the most part. Like, yeah, the weekends it's a little bit different. We have that flexibility together, but like he isn't because he's on a different shift schedule. He's there, but he's tired. He doesn't really want to be there because he would rather be sleeping and staying on schedule. So it does affect a lot of things still. And I feel like I'm a lot more alone during these 2 months where I'm like, yeah, great. I have access to the car, but now I have to do all the grocery shopping. I have to do all of the errand running. I have to do all of the stuff because he has no time. And it's the same with, with your husband being gone. Like, it's not a deployment, right? Like, of course, it's not like he's in an action zone. I'm really worried about you. Let me send you care packages kind of thing. But
it's still the taxing load of all of it is still, it's all on my shoulders. And thankfully, Jeremy has been very encouraging on, like, if I say I need something, he's like, do it. I don't care how much it costs, just do it. And that was not a conversation we kind of had going into, like, not necessarily into our marriage, but like, there was always kind of this, like, one, I think, like, having that comparison, like you said that word earlier, we got to stop comparing our lives. So we have to start comparing ourselves to other military spouses. We have to stop comparing what we do is more important or more hard work than our service member because they don't have to do all these other things. Like it's a hard task. Like it's definitely something that I think we can all agree that we struggle with no matter how hard we try not to do it. Whether, like, there's the resentment because, I think one of my biggest thing is when Jeremy's gone, no matter where he is. So whether it's, a long training cycle somewhere, a course, a deployment, whatever, he has plenty of opportunities to get ripped, y'all. And he usually does. Like, he usually bulks up and he gets really, like, into going to the gym and things like that when he's deployed. And he kind of has that expectation of, like, well, hey, I'm gone. Like, you can do all the things that you want to do. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, cooking special meals or anything like that. Like, but I don't, like, I can't just be like, okay, hey, like, my work day has ended. I can go to the gym and work out for 2 hours. I don't have that luxury. I mean, yes, I can go work out in the gym, but, like, honestly, y'all, I'm just exhausted. Like,
yeah,
I'm exhausted
like
at the end of the
when
day.
they go away, they get more time. When they go away, we get less time because they don't realize, like, yeah, it's the same schedule. Like, I know that feels like the same schedule, but then I am going to spend my evening time actually needing to, like, de-stress because I don't have an event to. I don't have, like, I've lost that part of it. And so my evenings, instead of doing what I know I should be doing for myself, it tends to be like, hey, I'm
something
going
that is not benefiting us in any way.
You have less time because mentally I'm so overwhelmed throughout the day with everything extra that I'm having to do that by evening time I don't have the capacity to do the extra stuff that would be ideal, like that they get to do because they go to work, they come home, they have nothing to do, they go and they do their exercise. Yes, scratch.
Like, we are 100% eating frozen lasagna. Like, I can throw it in the oven and forget about it and put a timer on and come back. And I think having those little tips and tricks and things like that to help you kind of navigate life, or like, hey, it's okay to say, I need help. Like, that's the first thing this week I was like, I needed a break. Like, I love my children, but they are with me 24/7. This year we're homeschooling and it's been a struggle. And so I was like, I need a day where I can go inside a store and not have a child ask me, can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this? But also be able to just have a day where I'm not doing everything for everybody and I can just focus on me. Like, I only have to make sure that I look across the road when I walk across the road, or I can actually eat my food when it's warm because I'm not having to stop eating to go make chocolate milk or get ice cream because my kids already finished eating by the time I even sat down to eat. Like,
I feel like I truly need a week. That's what I need. Like, so this weekend I had 2 evenings to myself, but what ended up happening, I cleaned the house because I could catch up on it. I did all these chores and it wasn't fun for me. Like, I didn't end up having any time to myself that I expected to have because there wasn't the time. Yeah, sure, it was 2 evenings, but like, that's nothing, because that's what I needed just to get to where I needed to be at point A, like to get back to normal. And I feel like that's the nice thing about them. When they leave, they have all this time to themselves where they get to like, and it does build resentment where I'm like, oh yeah, well, you have all this time where now you don't have the responsibilities of groceries, you don't have the responsibility of cleaning the house, you don't have the responsibility of any kids' activities. You just have you. You just have your responsibilities. And I wish the military spouses, like, we could go on a retreat every year. Like, it was a required part of self-care with retreat. Something that, or I would be content with the hotel down the street a week alone.
Listen, girls, listen, I have 100% have thought about, like, you know, there's been times where I'm just like, I just need to get away. Like,
and I think it's the away part, because having that time alone in my house, great, but I'm gonna do chores. That's gonna be my chores.
Like, you're not taking yourself out of everything. Like, and here's the thing, guys. Yes, my thing is like that laundry has been needing to be done for forever. I think like we've talked about this on another podcast already this season. Like, it's still sitting there. But, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, it can just sit there because like it's clean. We have clothes. We have, you know, clean undies, whatever the case may be. I don't like, we have the stuff to get through life. Does it stress me out every time I walk into the room? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm at the point where I'm like, I really do need to tackle this, but it's also such a big task that I'm like, do I really want to spend the little bit of time that I have to do it? No, but I'm like, okay, it has to get done. So sometimes I have to make that choice of like, okay, I can't do it. But when you have the choice to do something for yourself, to take yourself out of that, whether that is getting a babysitter for the whole day and window shopping, or grabbing a new book and going and sitting at the park and just reading the book for the day, just to get yourself out of all of the other responsibilities that you have, getting a hotel room for the night, or planning a trip with girlfriends. Like, I want to go on a trip so bad with my friends. Like, the other day I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, how fun would this be if we just, all of us got together and split an Airbnb at a location where we knew there was just a bunch of free things for us to go do, or just, you know, even if the beach house, like going to the beach and just sitting at the beach where we don't have to worry about reapplying sunscreen on our kids so they don't get fried like a lobster, or we can eat girl dinner every single night if we want to. Like, we could just be whatever we want to be on that trip. And I think, you know, so many people want that, but like so many people don't take that opportunity to go do it, because again, it's that invisible load. Like, they're like, in my brain, I'm already going like, well, I'm gonna have to find someone to come watch the kids and make sure that, you know, I have lists made and all the activities written down and everything like like all lined up for whoever's going to come stay with the kids. And it's kind of like, again, it's just more work in order to
kind of a guilt thing. Like, I'm saving for a vacation, and obviously I would love for that to be like a cruise, something where we're gone, we don't have any responsibilities. Like, that would be great. But then I look and, you know, I'm like, but we really should go see this family member. We need to spend more time with these people. And it's so hard to be like, I'm going to selfishly take something for myself. And like, though we need to do it, it's so hard to be like, yeah, I need to prioritize doing something that I need for me versus what someone else needs from me. I think that's so hard.
I mean, it's really important that we set those boundaries, and we talk about that a lot here on Ruck, that boundaries are really important, and sometimes you have to break those boundaries that you set for yourself to like go visit a family member who it may be your last time to get to see them, but it can hurt, like when you have to give up something that you've been looking forward to. I mean, I feel like I know for you and for me, that's kind of been a consistent thing for us. Like, we have this trip planned and we've had to reschedule or cancel it because of a PCS or a deployment, or someone is sick in the family, so we're visiting family members or whatever the case may be. But I mean, I said this in the last episode or so, I was like, I'm going on this trip this year. Like, whether Jeremy goes with me or not, my flight's booked. I'm going, because I was like, I need this trip. Like, I've not been on a vacation. I mean, other than my book trip in April of last year, but but that did so much for me. Like, that alone, like just saying I'm going to go on this trip, I don't know anybody, I'm going to go, has done so much. I really want to do a spouse like
I want to do another one of our retreats. I always look at that like back with all of the memories from our volunteers.
And that was only 2 nights.
So much fun. Yeah.
It was so much fun. We should do it this summer. Well, you're so far away.
That's the problem. We are all so spread out. Yeah.
But I mean, I mean, that's my thing is like, if you take the effort and you make the effort to like try to do something, you're going to be able to do it. Like earlier, I was thinking of like one of our staff members asked us like some tips and tricks on like self-care. And like one of the very first things that I thought about was like, actually grow, like choose to grow, even if it's uncomfortable, right? So think about how can you grow in your season of life. So like, if you're in a season of life where you feel that invisible load is just too much, like how can you grow from it? Like how can you take what you're carrying and turn it into something tangible or turn it into something that is going to benefit you in some way?
And if you can't, we briefly kind of talked about that. Like if you can step away from things. Like if it gets to be too much, if you're like, hey, the homeschooling is driving me crazy. The school will take them back. It's not like they have to take your children. So like you can put whatever it is that's like, this is just too much. Like I'm done with it, away. Like I've been trying to build my TikTok, right, for 10 years, right? I don't know. But it's like, that doesn't have to be a priority. It doesn't have if I'm getting stressed out about trying to make videos or content, like don't put that thing away. That's not necessary. Like you can just be a military spouse, do your job, take care of your kids, and that's enough. Like that's always enough. So,
and I feel like a lot of spouses try to do things because they don't want to fit that stereotypical military dependa, whatever it is. Here's the thing, y'all. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, and who cares what anyone else thinks. The only people that you should have any worry about what you're doing is your significant other and how you picture yourself. If you're picturing yourself as like this person that is not worthy of anything, then you're going to set yourself up to be unsuccessful. Like have grace, like we keep saying that, like have grace with yourself. Utilize the time to grow, whether that's a new job, learning new skills, going back to school. I mean, there's so many amazing resources out there, guys, that can help you achieve whatever you want to do. And I think if you're a stay-at-home mom, especially like we kind of keep going back to the mom thing, but I do feel moms have a bit of a more larger load that they carry compared to our just spouses. I'm not saying that they don't have their own invisible loads, because they do, but I do think that on top of those normal military spouse loads of, having to, navigate life solo and then as a partner and things like that, you have the kids, and the more kids you have, the more things that you have in your rucksack. But having, just an idea of what you want in life can help you make the determination of, is this something that I need to have in my ruck? Like, do we really need to do scouting right now? No. Like I took scouting off of our list this year. Like I took it out and I was like, this is not something I personally can handle. Like it's not something that I want to be able to have to drive back into town once a week to do. You guys aren't taking it serious. I know you want to do it because dad got his Eagle Scouts and you want to be an Eagle Scout, but here's the deal. Like you just want to go play tag. We do that twice a week already in homeschool group. Like I'm not adding a third time in there and then kind of being roped into being a leader or anything like that. Because again, like if you know me, I have a really hard time saying no, but I'm learning because I'm growing and I'm learning to say no and only take things that are going to help me take that next step forward.
And not saying no, like if you guys listen to our show often, we're always promoting volunteer and like all these things and getting your own personal, like following your leads of your things that you want to do. But it's really okay to just be a military spouse. That's simple. It's so easy to just, it's a big job either way. You're supporting somebody who has crazy schedules, goes and does crazy things that we all have to just endure. Like that's enough. Like if that's all that you have the capacity for, then just say no to other things. That's totally okay to just be like, I'm good where I'm at.
Exactly. I mean, you can still support other spouses in other ways. Like, I mean, we see it all the time. The amount of women that have been on like Sabrina, I'm trying to up my social presence a little bit more to help, raise visibility on the podcast and on Deployed Love, but also just to shed light on military life and how like crazy it can be, but also how rewarding it can be. But the amount of women who've been commenting and like just being like, you got this, and like, oh, I felt this way too, and all the other things, like, you can still be a cheerleader, you can still be supportive if you can't add more to your plate. Like Sabrina said, set those boundaries, say no. It's okay to, like, if you feel like you have to go home for Christmas but it's putting so much stress on you, say no.
Mm-hmm.
Say, we're staying home this year. It's okay. Your family may, I mean, again, we all come from different walks of life. We all have different backgrounds. We also have different relationships with the people in our lives. They'll get over it. And if they don't get over it, do you really want to surround yourself with people who are going to bring you down? I say no.
No.
And don't, and I think another thing is, like, don't carry it quietly. We talk about the invisible load, guys, and how it can be hard. But, and we've already said this, like, don't carry it alone. I think that's where community is so important, even if it's just one person. You know, I know for myself personally, if I can just vent a little bit and say, hey, like, this is what I'm going through, and someone can say, I hear you, I see you, it can truly change my entire, like, demeanor. It can change how I'm feeling. It can change how I'm looking at things. Like, you know, whether they tell me like you're being stupid, like that's not something to be upset about, or hey, no, that's actually like genuinely something you should be upset about. What have you tried to fix it? And here are some other tips if that's something that they have knowledge in. But, you know, again, don't compare. Like, don't complain that others have it, like other people have it worse, so I can't complain. Absolutely not. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings matter. How you, or what experience you're going through, just because someone else may have it worse than you, it doesn't mean that what you're going through at this moment in time doesn't matter just as much. So don't take it on yourself. And I know I'm hearing people in the back of my head going, but I don't have anybody. Listen, guys, if you literally just comment and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this, I guarantee you someone's gonna be like, let's meet for coffee. Or the amount of times I've seen a spouse saying like, hey, like, I just need someone to come sit on the couch with me. Man, that's my favorite thing to do, is to sit on the couch, veg, read a book next to somebody, or watch a movie. Like, there's someone out there. You just have to, again, I think it's a little scary for people to ask for help.
Yeah.
But if you get to the point where you're, I mean, the vision that's coming in my head, like if you're rucking across the river to get to the other side and your ruck is so heavy that you're drowning, you have to put your hand out to hope that someone's going to grab it. So,
and that goes back to last episode where we talked about sharing your stories. Like, that's it. You don't have to be on a social platform, but if you are, I mean, use that to tell the truth about military life, because I think a lot of young military spouses come in and they don't understand it. And then there's so much of the like breakdown of older spouses being like, well, you'll get through it. Like, that's not helpful. Yeah, you'll get through it, but here's how I did it. Here's a good idea for how to get past this hard situation. This is what I did. Like, tell the story of how you did get through it versus just being like, you'll survive. Like, you'll survive helps nobody. Like, that isn't the least helpful term. And so tell your stories, whether that's on social media, whether that's in just a group where you're talking to people, or just telling your story to another military spouse and having them help you through that situation is so important, because if your story stays silent, there's no one there. Like, no one will know that you need it if you're not asking for it. Like, you have to be able to advocate and be like, I need help getting past this situation. I've never encountered it. I don't know how to get past it. You have. How do I get here?
Yeah. And I think that's a great opportunity to, again, grow, like to learn about things that could assist you. I mean, we started the podcast because we knew that there were stories to be told. We knew that there were resources to be shared because of those stories that are being told, and that it's not affecting just one person, that we have individuals out there who have gone through the same thing or similar circumstances, and that there are programs out there now to be like, we don't want this to happen to anyone else. Like, we want to make sure that this person or this spouse or this new spouse is coming into our community into this family is going to have all the support that they need that we didn't feel that we had. And again, it's one of those things where you kind of have to like say, hey, I need this, and how can I find it? Because if you're silent about what you need, no one's going to be able to say, hey, like like our last episode was about infertility and stuff like that. Like, hey, how can I help you? Like, well, hey, I actually know this great organization that has all these amazing tools and things like that. Let me connect you. Or, hey, let me send you the podcast that Ruck, Buttercup did when they interviewed, and it gives all these great details and things like that. Like, that is, I think, something that every single military spouse can do. Whether you are a seasoned spouse and you are in that stage of, I don't care anymore, like I hate this lifestyle, I'm very resentful, whatever the case may be, and you're stuck and you don't feel how to get out of it. Okay, like, well, how can we get you out of it? Like, we can help you relook at this lifestyle and how it can be beautiful and how it can be all the different things. Or if you're a new military spouse who's just coming into the fold and you are just like a deer in the headlights and you're like, what is happening? We want to make sure that there are safe spaces for spouses to find that information, to find that community. I mean, we're here. I mean, myself, Sabrina, we're always here. Like, if you just need a safe corner, find us on social media, find us on LinkedIn, here on the podcast, whether it's podcast related or over on Deployed Love, just personal. We're here to support you. We've lived through several different things similarly. We've had very different experiences in other avenues. I think our theme is like, one size doesn't fit all, guys. Like, every journey is different. Every load that we carry is different. But it doesn't mean that we have to do it alone.
Yeah. I think that's just kind of the idea of this episode. It's a little bit shorter, but that maybe it's just a little bit something more that you have time to listen to. I hope that you realize that you aren't alone. I mean, like we said, like she's saying, everybody's journey is different. Yeah, you may be going through a deployment, but you're going through a deployment while your grandpa's sick. Like, there's so many parts of that looks so different, and you can't take everybody's general advice as what's going to work for you. So you need to be able to find what works and build your community around that.
And just keep this, like, tuck this aside, guys. Like, keep this, whether it's a mantra or whatever, like, you're not failing. You're not. You are thriving in your own arena. And if you are feeling like you're failing, then think about, like, one, do you need to let go of something that's causing you to fail? Because if it's something that you are like, I have to do this, then what tools can you use to better equip yourself to meet that hurdle, climb that mountain, whatever the case may be? But you're not failing. I feel like so many spouses do that. You are carrying more than one person should. And that's just that's our life. We unfortunately will go through different seasons. We'll go through different times where that load will be less, and that load will be more, and that load will be so great that you feel like you can't go further. But know that you deserve the relief when it comes. You deserve the relief when it's at the heaviest. So, like, kind of taking that moment of saying, today may not be the day where I actually get my to-do list done. And that's okay. It's okay to say, today is not the day, but tomorrow I will be doing the very best that I can. And, it's not just resiliency, guys. Like, we're thrown into life.
Listening to your inside voice, because, yes. And I think as women specifically, it applies to men too, but hormones and stuff throughout the month is going to make a huge difference on how you can work throughout a certain time period. So, like, knowing what you have a capacity for, and just not, it's okay. Like, the world is not going to fall apart if your dishes are covering your entire counter, or if your kids went to bed at 10 o'clock last night because you just didn't have the capacity to get
them. If you fed your kids cereal every night of the week,
the world isn't going to end.
You fed them, girl. You fed them. They ate. They're fine. Yeah. They're not starving. It's okay. It's okay to say.
Perspective of, like, it's okay. Yeah. Just like, survival sometimes is the key that we're on, and that's okay. As long as you're surviving the week, like, whatever that is.
I feel like as long as you're honest with yourself about the load that you carry and that you can recognize that this is something that you are doing and that you can recognize that, you know, I don't have to do it today. It's a task for tomorrow, or that it's okay to let something go. And you're not like, I think that's my biggest thing is like, you're not failing. If you have to let something go, if you have to, I think that's one of the biggest things, like with us in the nonprofit, is like every time I feel like, I just had a coordinator who sent me a message and say, hey, I can't commit to this anymore. I have so much happening. I really love this organization. I really want to continue to do it. And obviously, like you could tell, like I've kind of been MIA, but I just can't commit to this. And I'm like, girl, I hear you. And I'm so proud of you saying that I can't do this because of my mental health and my well-being. That's all we want, is that you guys have the tools to survive this life, because it can be, we don't want it to be about survival. Like, I think Sabrina is the one that said it in our last episode or the episode before, where she's like, I hate being in survival mode all the time. And I think that we can feel that way because the amount of change that we experience is so drastic so quickly that like we're just put into that like fight or flight mode all the time, and that there doesn't seem to be any kind of break from it. So it's just really truly honestly, like, have grace with yourself. It's okay to say no. It's okay to set that boundary. And we're human, guys. We're human. We're not going to be able to fix everything. We're not going to be able to do everything on our own. We have limitations. And it's okay to say, this is my limitation. This is my hard line of, I can't commit to this, or I can't say yes, or whatever the case may be. Like, we're all there. So you just have to just, I don't know, like, know that you have people in your corner cheering you on. I will be on the side. I know I will be on the sidelines for you, cheering you on, whether you are climbing a mountain, or you are crossing a raging river, or you are just on a leisure walk across a plain. We're here to cheer you on.
Yeah. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. I hope that we will see you at the next episode. We have so many great guests. Like, we are booked all the way through May. I cannot wait for any of them. I'm so excited. So
it's such a great season. And if you're listening, I think this is really important. Like, please like, comment, share, repost. We genuinely, like, I mean, yes, we started this podcast because we wanted to, and we wanted this outlet to kind of connect with each other, but as well with other spouses. But the resources and the stories that we get to share are just phenomenal. And we don't want to keep them from anyone. Like, there's so many great things to hear and share.
Yeah,
so
and supporting us supports them, because if we're sharing it and nobody's commenting and there's no likes, like, how do we know whether that's getting to the people that it needs to? So we need you to like and share it to the people. If it's a specific episode like about IVF, share it to the people that you know that it would relate to them. So help us out, help us reach more of the military community.
Yeah. And then we're just here to support you guys. We're here to love on you guys. We're here to, like I said, cheer you guys on. And I love hearing your guys' stories. I think it's such a cool experience of being someone in the military community for so long, that I get to hear, even if it's the most crazy story I've yet to hear, like, I'm just kind of like, how? Like, and it's a great way for us to have those conversations. Like, how does this happen? And how can we make sure that this doesn't happen to another person? So we're here. And I mean, honestly, like, this whole episode, like, I definitely leaned into our name of Ruck Up, but I mean, like, you guys, like, we're here, we're alongside of you. So let's, ruck up and have each other and cheer each other on, no matter what journey we're on.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. And it's like as we like to say, Ruck Up, Buttercup.
Bye, guys.